In this figure, I'm going to be taking a look at Obi-Wan Kenobi from the Phantom Menace for the Vintage Collection, and he was part of the Phantom Menace wave back in 2012. And I've had this action figure ever since about 2012, 2013. I distinctively recall getting him at my local grocery store on sale for about $6 at the time, which I thought was a good deal. And if I had to pay full price for this, I probably would not have gotten it. That was basically the main reason why I went ahead and got this. Is like, well, I'm a big fan of Obi-Wan, and $6 for a decent Obi-Wan, I think that's pretty good. And I'm glad I have it. So it's been in my collection for what, 12 years now at this point? And I'm glad he's along for the ride. So this is a repack from the Legacy Collection, and as far as I know, it's a straight repack. There's not even any paint differences as far as I know. The only thing that might be different from the Legacy Collection is I know the cape is different, and then maybe this comlink here, which this is the same exact comlink we've gotten with all the other Obi-Wans over the years. And this action figure was also repacked into the Movie Heroes line, minus the cape. Maybe the comlink, I'm not sure on that one again. But I know he comes with, what was that? Basically the harpoon that comes with the Clone Wars Padme Amidala from the Malevolent saga at that time. So it's had its share of releases over the years. But this is a pretty good one. I know a lot of people like making fun of this action figure, and I mean, I can kind of understand why they do. Is it the best Obi-Wan that Hasbro's ever made? No. And for being a TVC action figure, not too often do we just get straight repacks into the TVC line like this. Usually there's something somewhat new about it, but there's just absolutely nothing new about this action figure as far as I can tell at all from its previous releases. And even though it has an addition of a cape this time, or a robe, it's probably basically the same exact one that's been released before. So as far as head sculpts go, it's okay. It's definitely not the best likeness to Ewan McGregor we've ever gotten. And then if you've seen my video previously on the Saga Collection Phantom Menace Obi-Wan, I think that one's even closer to Ewan McGregor than this one. And I definitely like the Padawan braid on the other figure as well. This one's just a solid piece of plastic, and it's excessively large, I think. And it's missing the yellow bow. It's just two red ones in this case. As for the rest of his robes, I think they're pretty good. They have a wash over them. Perhaps this is to signify the final duel with Maul. He has pretty nice detailing on his belt there. Speaking of his belt, it doesn't look like there's really a spot on it where you can fit the communicator, unlike some of the other Obi-Wans we've gotten. So I would assume he can only hold it in his hand. And as you can see for his basically his skirt here, it's a combination of soft goods and plastic, which allows for extra flexibility. And then his legs here with his boots, which look pretty good. In terms of his articulation, he is super articulated for the time. He does have the ball joint at the head, which has a really good range of motion. But I think a lot of that is attributed to him having a bit of a giraffe neck there. And I think Hasbro did that to accommodate for the Padawan braid. But it's not too bad. Then we have a hinge at the shoulders, then hinged elbows, swivel wrists, joint at the torso, then swivel hips, then hinged knees, and hinged ankles. So decent articulation. I'm sure this character would benefit greatly from having ball jointed hips, or the barbell hips that seem to be more popular now. Here he is without his robe, which looks pretty good. Then, of course, for his accessories, pretty basic. Just the robe here, which is a pretty good fit on him, as you could see. The hood, not the best, but thankfully with the hood is you can drape it over his back, and then his ponytail back here has enough of a lip on there where you can keep the hood down. Definitely the robe on the Saga Collection Obi-Wan fits much better. Then he has his lightsaber here, which is probably just a straight repack as well from Legacy Collection. I think his hilt is missing a little bit of black paint here towards the end. But the blade is very nice. See, it has a little bit of that effect down here towards the hilt, and then it kind of narrows out here. It is a much brighter blue blade. And then of course the comlink here, which I think he fits alright in his hand. I've never actually had this Obi-Wan hold the comlink before. Seems to be a signature accessory that he comes with, like his lightsaber. And you can kind of get him to hold it somewhat naturally. I could see Obi-Wan holding it from a distance from him. Not sure if they really need to hold it close to their mouth or not when speaking to it. Or if it's like a microphone where you can have a little bit of distance from it there. One thing I will note as well is he is missing some paint on the ankle joints. And I think that was a pretty standard thing for a lot of these TVC figures at that time. Yeah, you see what I mean with the hood here. It doesn't really fit the best over his head. It's not bad. There's definitely much worse. It doesn't really rest on his head. And most of the time this Obi-Wan I just have hood draping on his back there. And as you can see, the ponytail does kind of keep that down, which is pretty good. I will do a comparison with the Qui-Gon and the Obi. This is, for the most part, I think about the same exact Qui-Gon that was released in the TVC line. So I never got that TVC Qui-Gon, and as many times as I saw it in retail, it was a massive peg warmer, and it stayed around until 2014 or 15 even. But I always thought that Qui-Gon looked very sick. He was very pale. It doesn't look very good at all, so I just dismissed it every time, and I have no regrets on that. Definitely Hasbro needs to attempt a new Qui-Gon at some point, and a new Phantom Menace Obi-Wan as well. But these two, I would say, look pretty good together. Is it the definitive Phantom Menace Obi-Wan up to this point? That's debatable. I would still say this Saga Collection figure is a little bit better. See how they look side by side. So would I recommend this Obi-Wan for your collection? I might. It's kind of expensive if you get it brand new on the card, I think. And I think that's probably the best selling point about this action figure is he looks really good on the card. And they used a very iconic image of Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan on that card. If you saw it, you would know what I'm talking about. As far as the Legacy Collection figure is concerned, I think it's a little bit more on the pricey side. I could have swore I've seen a few on eBay in the last couple months, and it was going from maybe like in the $40 range, like $35 or $40 brand new. Of course, it includes a Build-A-Droid part, and I think it may be one of the HK parts. So that part alone will probably be half the price right there. So not too bad. But like I said, if you really want a Phantom Menace Obi-Wan for your collection, I think this Saga Collection one might be the little bit better one to get. I think it looks a little closer to Ewan McGregor, and it's just a very nice action figure, and it's pretty easy and affordable to get hold of. A little bit more than this one, I think. But still, I'm happy it's part of my collection. It's been in my collection for 12 plus years now at this point, and it's always nice to have more Obi-Wans in the collection. But anyways, that concludes this review. I hope you enjoyed it. Stay tuned for plenty more reviews in the future. There'll always be more to come. If you haven't already, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. I always appreciate your support. And check out some links in the description if you haven't done so already. As always, thanks for watching.